Hey guys, Jackdaw here. Today I am following up with a new entry in my lore mini-series, paving the road for the anticipated release of the next Dragon Age game. Last episode I explored Navarra, Thedas' central nation that is best known for its unique treatment of the dead, strong royal dynasties, and all things to do with the arts and trade. Continuing from that, in this episode I'm plunging into the cultured seafaring kingdom of Antiva, that is famous for its wine, guild of assassins, and rich merchant history. For the uninitiated, Antiva's roots can be traced back to ne'er-do-wells and pirates who united, realizing a less dangerous life on land could still be lucrative. They put down stakes on the west coast of Rialto Bay, only to realize they were all but squatting on land claimed by the king of a nearby city-state called Antiva. Eventually, the two distinct groups merged into one people, evolving into the kingdom it is today. While the nation has always been governed by a monarchy, Antiva's true power in Thedas resides in the hands of a dozen merchant princes. They are not princes in the literal sense, but heads of banks, trading companies, and vineyards, and their power is conferred strictly by wealth. However, that wasn't always the case for Antiva. Many people of Thedas wrongly believe that Antiva maintained its independence on the back of the Antivan Crows, an infamous guild of spies, assassins, and thieves. But that's just not true. The foundation of the nation's prosperity originated with the succession of Queen Asha in the Black Age, who was historically known as the Queen Mother of Thedas. Recognized as a marriage that could later prove to be one of the most important events in Thedas' history since the blackening of the Golden City, Asha, a daughter of wealthy Ravani merchants, was hitched in an arranged marriage with the Crown Prince of Antiva, Alonso Campana. Before the two took the throne, Princess Asha understood that her new kingdom was in danger. It was becoming too prosperous to avoid attracting the attention of envious powers with better armies. It was only a matter of time before Tevinter or the rest of Thedas tried to claim a share of Antiva's wealth, and when they did, she knew her kingdom would be no match for them on the battlefield. So, Asha planned to outmaneuver her enemies before it could ever come to war. When the two were crowned and took the throne, Queen Asha had already arranged marriages in rival countries for 3 of their children. Over the next several decades, Queen Asha's plan was revealed. She married her children and grandchildren into strategically selected families in every nation on the continent, as each marriage sealed an alliance. Within 30 years, no country in Thedas could risk hostilities against Antiva without bringing half of Thedas into war. Today, the blood of Queen Asha flows into the veins of Empress Selene and the Prince of Starkhaven, the King of Navarra, most dukes of the Anderfels, and even prominent magisters of the Imperium. More than any document or agreement, Asha's bonds of blood force most of Thedas to remain at peace with Antiva or risk terrible consequences at family gatherings. And so Antiva has remained fairly peaceful with the other nations throughout the ages. Perhaps the darkest time in Antivan history was the Exalted Age, when the Fourth Blight ravaged the nation. The awakened archdemon Andoral brought destruction on the land as darkspawn surfaced in great numbers in the northern parts of the continent, with most concentrated in Antiva. The entire ruling family at the time were slaughtered before the darkspawn advanced south and cast to the Free Marchers and Ravane. Antiva was finally rid of darkspawn following the tide-turning battle at the city of Aislay, where the Grey Warden Garahal died striking a killing blow on Andoral. So many Darkspawn were slaughtered that many in Thedas believed the Darkspawn would never return. Antiva wasted little time rebuilding what was lost at great expense, booming back into one of Thedas' best trade beacons, and thus it has remained the same since. Surrounded by the Rialto Bay, it's no wonder serene Antiva is renowned for its seafaring nature. The nation has cemented itself with powerful mercantile traditions, taking advantage of its coastal cities for trade opportunities with the other countries of Thedas. The beautiful and deadly Antiva city is the most important of these coastal cities, not to mention Antiva's capital. Like most of Antiva, the capital has been described as a romantic location known for its wealthy port and robust robust trade, as well as the wine that is the country's main export. Many have said that Antiva city smells of seawater mixed with wine and spice, or mold mixed with rotting fish. The city is made up of many plazas, boulevards and streets that are paved in marvellous tiles and dozens of gilded statues. Banks, shops, merchants, restaurants and many other businesses thrive throughout the capital. And there are many wonders one can witness in Antiva city, like the Royal Palace, otherwise known as the Palace of the Kings. The palace is situated in the middle of Antiva city. A grand statue of Asha, Queen Mother of Thedas, is stood, watching over the entrance within the palace walls, as royals carry out their mundane duty. Even further, Antiva city houses many of the Antivan Crows' secret hideouts, such as their stronghold, the Archive of the Crows, their hidden prison, the Villa Banchel, and even House Qunari have their own casino. Indeed, the Antivan Crows enjoy a life of supreme privilege in their home nation. And given Antiva's permissive culture, the kingdom is home to several brothels. The people of Antiva are known for their festive culture. Holidays there tend to be celebrated with uncommon enthusiasm. Saturnalia, for instance, is accompanied by wild celebration, the wearing of masks, and the naming of the town fool as ruler for the day. As a whole, Antiva is relatively prosperous, thanks largely to aggressive trading practices. Its only real resource comes from the wine trade, fueled by its fruitful vineyards. Antiva would not be so rich if it were isolated from its many trading partners. In Thedas today, the kingdom does have a ruling monarch, however they don't have much power and the people don't much care for them. Instead, the nation is led by a body of argumentative merchant princes who have far more power than the weak monarchy that officially rules the nation. The merchant elite prefer to sue for peace when entangled in a war, which is not often, as the nation is well known for its neutrality and passive approach to cross-border conflict. While Antiva is not a military power by any means, there is no standing army, the nation keeps the deadliest assassins in Thedas, in the House of Crows. The guild's fame is such that the entire kingdom fear their silent blades, and few have dared take on the nation in open war. The Antivan Crows operate under the control of a secret council said to be made up of the heads of a small collection of the wealthiest families in Antiva, including some royals. The 8 leaders of the Crows are called the Talons. The current leading houses are De La Morte, Balazar, Valisti, Cortez, De Riva, Nero, Cantori, and Ariana. Houses frequently rise and fall. While new recruits are told that anyone can rise to the rank of Talon, in practice, few achieve this rank without family or connections. The Antivan Crows are everywhere in their home nation, but they also appear outside of Antiva. Often, they are identifiable by their unique tattoos, a tradition taken from the Raveni. Some Crows display their tattoos proudly, while others keep them hidden. Various Antivan kings and queens have paid lip service to the idea of stamping the Crows out, tossing around sentiments like menace on Antiva's peaceful reputation. The Crows are, after all, lawbreakers. However powerful and romanticized they may be, nothing has come of these threats, as the fame of the Crows is widely believed to protect Antiva from outside harm. It is often said that nations avoid invading Antiva because, while their armies might find little resistance, the leaders of those armies and those who sent them will almost certainly end up dead. A target of the Crows rarely lives long. In any regard, we have 2 major lingering narratives for Antiva that should have great consequences in the next Dragon Age game. Qunari Invasion. Most crucially, an Antam-led Qunari invasion is heading to Antiva. Intervinter Knights Katarina de la Morte, the first Talon, invited each of the other Talons together to discuss the impending Qunari threat. The Qun sought a, quote, peaceful invasion as they discussed a deal with Emil Cortez, one of the Antivan Crow Talons. Cortez agreed to eliminate all the other Talons for the Qunari with the assumption that the Qun would honour their deal and occupy a peaceful conquest of Antiva and its people. With this machination in play, Cortez killed the 2nd, 3rd, and 8th Talon before Viago, Tia, and the rest of the Talons unmasked Cortez's conniving plot, and then defeated their brethren. Since Cortez's agreement was foiled, the Qunari are heading to Antiva after their quote peaceful contract went sour. Should the Qunari decide to invade, the assassins must present a unified force. The remaining Antivan Crow Talons have since travelled to Antiva city to inform the royals of Antiva in preparation for this Qunari war. The Crows also plan to recruit more Talons for their ranks, as they just lost 4 leaders thanks to Cortez's scheme. Now, Antiva hasn't faced a brutal invasion like this since the Fourth Blight. While the nation has faced Qunari invasions in the past, the Antivan Crows are currently at their most fractured with their recent betrayal, and the Qun is an implacable force that will not be denied. Surely chaos will ensue for Antiva unless the kingdom can get help from its neighbouring nations. Otherwise, the Qunari may control the majority of northern Antiva within a year. The Rest of the Talons. Adding more to the Antivan Crows' dilemma, in the Dragon Age Day short story The Wake, the Antivan Crows Ilario, Viago and Tia mourned the loss of Lucanus de la Morte, the heir to the first Talon. Lucanus' cousin, and now presumably the next heir to the first Talon, Ilario, shared his drunken childhood stories of his cousin Lucanus. More to the point, Lucanus de la Morte has mysteriously died, it seems. He was recently introduced into Winter Nights as a master assassin. However, it seems his fate has already come upon him. Unless he has, of course, tricked his friends, like he's pretending to be dead for some sort of greater scheme, or he's gone missing, or he would rather just leave the Antivan Crows so his cousin Ilario could then become the first Talon of the Antivan Crows instead of him. Perhaps there is something more to it, but as it stands right now, it seems like Lucanus is dead, considering his friends are putting up a wake together for him. Either way, the Antivan Crow Talons are 4 members down, and they need to recruit more leaders fast. Between the imminent Qunari invasion and the Crows' own inner conflicts, matters are tense for Antiva, to say the least. Perhaps this crown jewel of a nation will be desolated by the Qun. The Crows certainly have an incredible looming threat on the horizon for their home nation. Only time will tell what happens to Antiva and the Antivan Crows. Hopefully Antiva shall endure until the next age. Regardless, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about Antiva, the imminent Qunari invasion, and the Antivan Crows? What plots do you have in mind for Antiva? Do you think the Qun will invade, or will the Antivan Crows have a chance at stopping them before it's too late? For all your things Dragon Age, Mass Effect, you're already in the right place. But until the next one, I have been Jackdaw, and I should go. Whoa, 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 whoa.